Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie opens at night, outside a Porsche dealership. Kip, a vehicle thief, intends to steal a beautiful new Porsche 911. Not caring about the alarm, he is actually a bit reckless in his approach, and breaks the store window with a brick. He then takes the car keys from the key box, and drives away with his gang. The other part of the team, quite young, is waiting for him at an old warehouse, where several stolen cars are already stored. Kip stops at a traffic light, and challenges another sports car to a race. Driving recklessly, Kip attracts the attention of the cops. He manages to get to the warehouse safely, but the cops are still on his trail, so they are forced to abandon all the cars and flee. When Detective Roland arrives at the warehouse, he discovers that the theft was carried out by a group of professionals. Among the stolen cars are brand new Mercedes, and Roland orders his colleague to impound them. The next day, the movie's protagonist, Memphis, is instructing children on how to race on a go-kart track. Many years ago, Memphis was a famous car thief who left the illegal business behind. He receives a visit from an old acquaintance named Atlee, who informs him that his younger brother Kip is in trouble. Kip accepted an assignment from a local gangster named Kalitri to deliver 50 cars, but failed miserably. Atlee describes how the gangster is a violent man who will kill Kip if the order is not carried out. Kip is captured by Kalitri, and Memphis decides to go talk to him. He arrives at Kalitri's junkyard and tries to negotiate his brother's release. He is informed that he must deliver 50 cars in 4 days, or his brother will be killed. Initially, he flatly refuses the assignment, and even returns the $10,000 paid in advance by the gangster. Nevertheless, Kalitri refuses the money, and shows him a list with the 50 cars he must steal. Also, apart from releasing Kip, Kalitri promises to give him $200,000. Memphis has left the criminal life behind, and is hesitant to accept the assignment, but when Kalitri gives the order to kill Kip with a vehicle crusher, he agrees. He takes Kip home, and is sorry to see what this lifestyle has turned him into. Kip tries to make him lunch, but he is nervous and makes a mess. Later, Memphis decides to visit his mother, who works as a waitress at the neighborhood diner. He tells her everything, who asks him to do everything he can to save his brother's life. He is leaving the diner, when Officer Roland and his colleague stop him, and tell that if he does anything illegal, he will be imprisoned for the rest of his life. They are already aware of the assignment given by Kalitri, and will keep an eye on him. That same evening, he visits the laboratory of his mentor, Otto, explaining the problem and asking for help. Otto has built a peaceful and honest life, and doesn't want to throw it away. Nevertheless, he wants to help Memphis, because he sees him as a son. Memphis and Otto spend the next day putting together his team, but most of the people they contact are dead or in prison. The first to join the team is a driving instructor named Donnie, who hates his job. Next there is Sphinx, a mute funeral director, who also agrees to join the team. Finally, Memphis goes to talk to his ex, Sarah, a mechanic. Sarah also works as a part-time bartender, and no longer wants to be involved in crime. She refuses to go with Memphis, even though he tries desperately to convince her. He reveals to her that he has only a few days to deliver 50 cars to a dangerous criminal, but she continues to refuse. He is about to leave the pub, when an old rival gang turns on him. They want him to leave town or they will kill him. The fact is that Kalitri was supposed to give the assignment to them, but Kip got in the way. Just as they start beating up Memphis, Sphinx arrives and blows up their cars. He then beats the gang to a pulp, saving Memphis. Later that evening, they are having drinks, when Memphis notices a photograph of his late father, a car dealer. He believes that if his father were still alive, both of his brothers would be working at a car dealership. Kip relates that he has his own gang, and can no longer live a normal life. Memphis describes how he felt excited every time he stole a car, but after several friends died and were imprisoned, he decided to quit. The next morning, Memphis and his gang are reading the list of cars he has to deliver to Kalitri. Soon, Kip and his gang arrive and want to help, but Memphis doesn't want his brother involved. The brothers begin to argue, but Otto convinces Memphis to let them participate, because without their help, they will not get anything done. Kip's team has little experience in the field, but is brilliant. Mirror Man is the technology specialist, Tumblr is a good driver, Toby is a database hacker, and Freb is a mechanic. They use Otto's store as headquarters for the heist, and Toby hacks the DMV database to locate the cars on the list, which are given female nicknames. The last car on the list, nicknamed Eleanor, is a customized 1967 Mustang GT, that has brought trouble to Memphis several times. The 3 Mercedes seized by police all require laser-cut keys, that are impossible to clone. Roland's colleague discovers that all were purchased from a Newport dealership, Dressner Foreign Motors, where a single ex-con works, replacing keys lost by the manufacturer in Germany. They confront him, and threaten to arrest him for auto theft if he does not cooperate. So, he agrees to contact them if the person who paid him for the replacement keys returns. Meanwhile, Memphis devises a plan to steal all the cars in one night. They initially hack the databases, and then use old-fashioned stakeouts to locate the cars to be stolen. In addition, he discovers the location of the very rare Ferrari 275 GTB. While Memphis and Atlee discuss the location of the cars, Sarah, Memphis' ex, arrives, and joins the team. Tumbler goes to the ex-con to obtain the keys to the Mercedes, who then informs the detectives of this. The detectives follow Tumbler to their new headquarters, where they plan to ambush Memphis, when he comes to steal the Mercedes. At the end of the day, Memphis goes to see Eleanor, his 1967 GR 500. It is the only car he has never been able to steal, because it was giving him a lot of trouble. That night, Memphis and Kip are driving home, when the rival gang surprises them in the middle of the road and starts shooting at their vehicle. The brothers manage to escape and hide in a restaurant, near a police car. The gang cannot enter because of the police, but they decide to wait for them outside. Later, Kip connects a truck to a car engine with a rope, and when the truck driver drives away, he rips the car engine behind himself. This attracts the attention of police officers, who stop the gang members, and find their illegal firearms. The next morning, Fred brings one of the vehicles on the list to headquarters. He claims to have stolen it in Chinatown, and when they open the trunk, they discover a large amount of heroin. At that moment, Detective Roland decides to pay them a visit. The group hides the heroin, and distracts Roland enough to avoid capture, but the detective suspects that Memphis is planning to steal some cars just tonight. And in fact, Memphis and the rest of the gang start stealing cars that night. They go to a particular dealership to get the Ferraris on the list. After stealing them, they deliver them to a location at the port. Some cars are very easy to steal, but for others, they have to improvise. In an attempt to steal a car, Mirror Man disguises himself as a valet, and steals it right in front of the owner. While stealing an expensive Lamborghini, Sarah and Memphis start talking about how their romance ended, when he left the illegal business unexpectedly. Then they become intimate for a moment. Meanwhile, Roland and his colleagues keep an eye on the three Mercedes. Memphis approaches and notices a van that appears out of place, as soon as he tries to steal one of the Mercedes. He abruptly stops the mission, and asks to return to headquarters. He realizes that the dealer who provided them with the keys has betrayed them. They are about to give up, but then they remember that they still have the keys to the Mercedes they took earlier. So, they decide to steal the Mercedes confiscated by the police. But there's a problem: Otto's dog has swallowed the keys for the Mercedes, so they give him laxatives and walk him to retrieve them. Meanwhile, an inmate informs Roland that Memphis is stealing cars for Calitri, who is taking them to South America. When the detectives go to Memphis gang headquarters, they discover the list of cars written on the walls. Roland chooses to put several rare cars under surveillance, including the GT 500. Knowing Memphis, he is convinced that he will steal the GT 500 last. Sphinx, Sarah and Memphis, on the other hand, collect the keys from the dog, and go to the depot to steal the Mercedes. While Mirror Man distracts the guard and the team steals the cars, Memphis discovers that only 3 more cars are needed to complete the job. Later, Mirror Man and Sphinx are trying to steal a rare Humvee, when some policemen try to stop them, further complicating the situation. Sphinx breaks through the police car, and takes the Humvee to the port, ignoring the presence of a snake in the vehicle. Meanwhile, Kip is in a suburb to steal an SUV. However, as they attempt to drive away in the car, things go awry. Policemen block the road and start shooting at them, hitting Toby. Nevertheless, they manage to outrun the officers and take the car to the port, and then Toby to the doctor. Now, the GT 500 is the only car left. Memphis loves this car, but he has never been able to steal it. He goes to the car with Sarah, and as soon as he gets behind the wheel, Roland and his partner appear. Sarah blocks the officer's way, trying to buy some time for Memphis, but Roland tricks her, and a chase ensues. The GT 500 is chased by dozens of police cars, and Memphis takes advantage of the traffic and narrow streets to escape. He manages to survive despite nearly colliding with a garbage truck. A helicopter is following him, so he hides in some neighborhood streets. Suddenly, the car has a little problem, and refuses to start. Memphis is almost caught, but the car gets going again, just in time to escape. As he tries to drive the car back to the port, Atlee informs Kip that his brother has left the world of crime, to prevent Kip from following his path. In the city, Memphis drives through the shipyards to outrun police cars. He stands on a bridge that leads directly to the harbor. There is a roadblock in front, but with the cops chasing him, he decides to drive over a ramp to get past the roadblock. He manages to reach the port, but is told his time is up. He goes to talk to Calitri, but it backfires on him, and the criminal orders his kill. Just as he is about to be killed, Kip and Atlee intervene, saving his life. Memphis, enraged, follows Calitri to his office and starts beating him. Calitri grabs a gun, forcing Memphis to hide. As Calitri chases him, Roland arrives, but the criminal spots him and shoots, nearly hitting his hand. The detective drops the gun, and Calitri is about to kill him, but Memphis pushes the criminal over the fence. Calitri dies, and Roland lets Memphis go, thanking him for saving his life. Memphis tells Roland where the stolen cars are, and then departs. The entire gang has lunch in Otto's store. Sphinx speaks for the first time, and everyone discovers that he is British. Finally, Kip gives Memphis a beat-up GT500, and he leaves with Sarah on board. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.